Hearing for Monday, November 23rd on the vacation of a portion of Skinner Road.
Hey, Council, just as with the introductory from Councilmember Walker, this is just to set a public hearing date to hear a potential for vacating street right-of-way, and this is a portion of Skinner Road right-of-way. There is some additional information that I'll just share very quickly tonight to help you understand some of the steps that we'll be taking behind the scenes to get ready for the public hearing in November 23rd, correct? Yes, November 23rd. One of the things that we have to do and we have underway at this time is appraisals. So we're getting a valuation on the potential area to be vacated. That is being worked. Additionally, the ordinance that you passed on September 14th on the advice of the city attorney, where we learned that our earlier municipal code related to street vacations, 1316, was out of date. We have to create an application for the applicant to reapply. That's more of a making sure that the application will fit the criteria of the new ordinance, so they're aware of the applicant is aware of that, so we'll be working on that. There's also a staff report that we have to put together in the intervening time, and so that's some of the work that we'll be doing once the public hearing date has been established. So that's hopefully the goal tonight, that we can move that forward to set the date to have the hearing about this particular vacation. If there are any questions?
Questions from council? Quiet group tonight. Okay, without objection, we'll move that to next week's agenda. Next step, setting public hearing for the same day, November 23rd, on the vacation of a portion of Stewart Road right-of-way near intersection Stewart and Valentine.
Thank you, Council. And again, this is another vacation. Similar comments that I had already mentioned apply to this one as well, with the new ordinance, with some of the staff work that we have to do behind the scenes. Tonight's action is just really establishing the public hearing 6 weeks in advance, and staff will be using that intervening 6 weeks to pull that information together. So if there aren't any questions, that's the action we're asking for tonight.
Questions from council? Councilman McKay.
So we secured the right-of-way, I'm assuming, from some landowner. So now it's in surplus. Is it going back to the landowner?
That's one of the details that we have to work out, is the understanding fully the monetary component of how the land was acquired and how we can potentially vacate or sell the parcel. So that's one of the things that staff will be working with the city attorney's office to really establish how that mechanism looks. But again, to your base question, is the current property owner is different than the property owner that we originally acquired the property from. So, but essentially, to answer your question, yes, the city, if this vacation goes forward, would be vacating a piece that we do not need for the right-of-way that is being constructed along Valentine and Stewart. It's a smaller segment.
I realize they're small pieces of land, but so the one thing I don't know is how we acquired them. Did we do them by basically condemning the land, or typical government actions where we need this for the greater good? If you have no choice, we'll pay you fair market value. Well, now it's surplus. It seems like it should go back to the landowner because they may not have had much choice. But if they, if it was some agreement and it was voluntary, I can see. I guess my question is what use is a small piece of land to anyone other than the original landowner, or the person holding the original parcel now?
Right. Certainly, I understand the question about the value of the land, and I don't remember the assistant city attorney, Jim, if you recall if that was by condemnation that it was acquired.
I believe it was.
Yeah. So there was a couple legal questions that we have to have answered before I can fully answer that question. But certainly I'll make a note of that so we can make sure that's part of the staff report.
Councilmember Stecker.
Wasn't this originally all negotiated by Pierce County?
Pierce County certainly had a role to play, and I must apologize tonight, I don't have all of the details of
I
the
believe
interplay.
that all the particulars and everything else was all negotiated with Pierce County. We came into the picture after the fact.
That's correct. Yeah.
So, any returning of properties or anything else, I mean, that would have to be whatever Pierce County negotiated with the original landowners, not us.
Well, I believe everything was held by the city. So Pierce County did the dirty work for us, but we ended up with the title.
And so we're going to use that intervening 6 weeks to really separate and address all of those issues. And all of that information will be contained in the staff report that when we schedule the hearing and the potential ordinance to vacate, that you'll have that proper information to make a decision.
And this is just setting the hearing.
Correct.
So is this about the hearing?
No, okay.
So can we, before we get to the hearing, can we make sure that this comes to a workshop so we can ask all these questions that we're
Yes.
around? Okay. Thank you. Without objection,
Excuse me, Councilmember Walker. I will say that we are having a Public Works Committee meeting on Wednesday. This is one of the agenda items.
Okay.
So certainly, Public Works Committee will have an opportunity to dig into this a little bit more detail.
Just to speak on it, I know that when Sound Transit took some pretty valuable property away from some people, and they ended up ultimately only using it to put equipment on to build the railway. Well, obviously, once everything went through, that property was very valuable at the end. They sold it for a profit rather than allowing the original landowner to purchase it back at the original purchase price, who should have been able to profit from it because they had no choice. It got taken from them and they were given fair market value at the time. And then Sound Transit triple or quadrupled their money on it, which in my mind isn't fair. And if we're going to, I don't want to participate in a process that does that to our citizens.
I'll try very quickly a response just to give a very quick flavor for the property. I will remind council that the city has invested a significant amount of money related to the Valentine project. This was an area where there was petroleum contamination from the previous owner. So the city has spent its funding to clean up the property. So that will factor into the valuation.
That's true.
That was going to be my question, is what property is, I don't know exactly which one you're
Yeah,
talking
I
about.
know which one you're talking about now.
Other questions from council? Okay, without objection, we'll bring it to next.